Welcome to the UGC EPG Pathshala lecture series in computer science. In this series of lectures, we have been looking at the subject database management system. For today's session, I will be talking more on intelligent database systems. The learning objectives for this particular session include, we are trying to initially brief the discussion with the importance on intelligent database systems. We are then trying to compare the traditional database systems with the intelligent database systems. We are about to detail the architecture of intelligent database systems, and finally, we will provide more of features towards this intelligent databases. If you look at in the early 1980s, data are managed more for inventory management system, banking applications and sales forecasting systems. So, the trend has been more towards these type of applications where the database could not merge text, image, multimedia informations. So, because of such reasons, in later part, as we have talked about the topics like active database, detective database, knowledge base, temporal database, some of the artificial intelligence techniques which all together merged, and even data mining techniques, all these things put together formed for an intelligent databases. If you look at these intelligent databases, somewhere in the late 80s, the concept of intelligent databases was actually been formed. That is, in 1989, the term intelligent databases was defined as part of the book titled Intelligent Databases by Kamran Parsey. So, he is the author of the book, and he was the one who has introduced the term called intelligent databases. So, by means of this definition of intelligent databases, it was quite natural to merge what was lacking with the traditional database systems. That is, with reference to traditional databases, it was more of text that we tried to manage, but now because of advancements in terms of writing rules and generating more of facts, not just processing on a data, it is more to process on information. So, intelligent databases as a natural process, it tries user and goes beyond the similar record keeping system. So, some of the record keeping systems that we have traditionally looked at were on most of the banking applications, inventory management systems. Now that we are going ahead and we are going to look at systems which can easily process on, say for example, a patient history, which maintains the prescriptions, at the same time it considers X-ray, CT scan on a click. So, in such cases we may have to handle almost all varieties of data. So, then it becomes intelligent database. So, this intelligent database not only process on data, but also it is trying to process on more of information and tries to produce lot of analysis. So, in this particular juncture, we will try studying on what an intelligent database system is. Intelligent database systems are intended to handle more than just a data. As I have told you, just a data processing will be very normal in terms of traditional databases or conventional databases, but then more on, or rather than data, it can process more on the information. So, and may be used in tasks involving large amounts of information where analysis and discovery are needed. Similar type of example we would have seen it in the definition of either data warehouse or data mining. So, if you look at these definitions of data warehouse and data mining, we would have said more on taking decisions, doing a lot of analysis, predicting, visualization would be the key terms that we have used when we studied data warehousing and data mining. Similarly, these intelligent databases almost have to acquire most of the concepts from active, detective, parallel, distributed, all these concepts. So, it becomes more intelligent, not just to process with data, it is to process more with information. So, this does a lot of analysis and discovery as and when possible. So, that is one set of definition of intelligent database systems, whereas there is another definition for the same intelligent database system which says an intelligent database is a full text database that employs AI techniques, artificial intelligence techniques. This artificial intelligence is like processing with machines. So, interacting with the users to ensure that returned items, that is number of hits, contain the most relevant information possible. So, any number of returns that we get it from the user, it should be an appropriate and relevant information as much as possible. So, the efficiency of these information database systems need to be much higher than any traditional database systems. So, that is the intention with which we have started working on intelligent database systems, where the storage and retrieval is not just concentrating on the text, it rather concentrates on information, where information can be of any sort like image and more. So, we try comparing the differences between a traditional and intelligent database systems. If you look at the traditional database systems, what we have been processing with the traditional database systems, where user need to compute the complete schema, that is the structure of the database before querying. So, for the process of querying, we need to know the complete structure of the database, whereas if you look at intelligent databases, the schema need not be known to the user. Rather, user must write SQL queries, that is structured query language queries, for getting to know on a particular data. So, the structured query languages format will be select star from where those will be the conditions. Whereas, with respect to intelligent databases, user can simply use query expressions or a native language query or a naive user query. So, any person who knows a native language, either he can type it in English or his own language, this goes and searches in the appropriate engine and tries to retrieve as much details as possible. So, these data that are being retrieved are no more a data as we have represented in SQL, but then it will be of a format of information. If you look at traditional database systems, these database systems does not help in searching. So, searching is not been possible since all the data are being stored, but then during retrieval searching is not majorly been possible, whereas this provides help to make search very effective, that is intelligent database searches are very effective. If you look at Google web search engine, where it is context aware. So, we understand the context with which the user gives in the query and it appropriately searches for the keywords in the respective engines. Other the disadvantage of traditional databases are it lacks semantic value. Semantic in sense, we do not consider the meaning of a specific entity that we are trying to provide in our traditional databases, whereas with respect to intelligent databases, semantic informations are stored via knowledge graphs. So, I consider and construct knowledge graphs. I also make ontology maps, whereby the semantic values of each and every entity is being clearly mapped and other data structures in the database itself. So, by construction of knowledge map, I am making myself aware the semantic information relationship between two different entities in terms of meaningful expressions. So, thereby the database becomes intelligent. Not only that, these traditional databases can never store informations or rules, it just stores or tries to store only facts, whereas intelligent databases works and tries to store facts, not only facts, it handles fact database and rules database. Trying to understand on intelligent database, this database becomes intelligent only when we provide them with AI techniques. So, we provide lot of intelligent techniques like artificial intelligence, we try providing artificial intelligence techniques so as to make this database worthier and effective. So, what we have with database technology is limited modeling capabilities and new data management applications. So, as I have pointed it out, if a patient history is being done only with respect to the prescription or the text described about the patient, then it becomes a traditional or a conventional database technology, whereas I am trying to apply artificial intelligence techniques where I do a detailed scan of the patient either by ECG or mammogram or taking X-ray images, and additional informations are provided along with the patient history so as to make it more intelligent into the scenario. So, AI techniques often uses toy systems, not persistent management of data. So, no persistent management, it has not been stored for a longer period in time. So, if you look at database technology, the bridging gap between the intelligent database and the database technology is to aid an artificial intelligence system, that is to deal with large amount of information. So, what was lacking as part of traditional databases where we were never been attempting to store information, but then everything is being stored in form of facts. Whereas, when we consider AI technique, this AI bridging the gap between an intelligent database and AI, it can provide semantic support to the database systems, that is all the relevant meanings attached to it in form of a data dictionary or a data mart or a metadata is being provided on top of what intelligent techniques that we are trying to apply. So that all the artificial intelligence techniques applied to the defined data sets or the databases makes the database more intelligent. These are the technologies that are existing over and above the intelligent database systems. So, those are they try to represent the evolution and merging of several technologies like automatic information discovery. So, we may have to predict, or we may have to discover, or we may have to evolve on more of information value rather than just facts. And it should also attach with hypermedia, that is multimedia content, image content, video content, audio content, etc. And further, this tries to employ object orientation principle like encapsulation, inheritance, object encapsulation, inheritance, data hiding and things like that. Not only that, this also utilizes the measure of knowledge base and also expert systems, where we represent all the facts in terms of writing rules. So, expert systems are an extension to the detective database systems, where we write lot of rules. So, thereby we are trying to extract more of information from the intelligent databases. And we also wanted the conventional databases because facts are also being a part of this intelligent databases. If you look at the overall structure, intelligent databases consumes from various sources, that is, this is what we have seen in the previous slide. It has to do an automatic discovery, it imbibes most of the principles of object orientation, it also takes the help of traditional databases, hypermedia, and it also takes the help of expert systems. But if you look at from the other half, this is the three-tiered architecture of intelligent database systems, where we might need high level tools, and there is an user interface, and there is an engine which is trying to connect with the outside world. If you look at high level tools, these high level tools are majorly being used for understanding the quality of the work and understanding the quality of the data that is involved for the creation of this intelligent databases. Thereby, by the high level tools, we can easily generate patterns. Because of such generative patterns, this database becomes intelligent by itself. And we have an high level interface, all these are high level user values. As and when you look at the intelligent databases, the author of intelligent database has given this three level of intelligence. One is the utilization of tool, that is high level tools. The second one is on the user interface, and the third one is on the database engine. If you look at the user interface should be designed in such a way that it also makes use of the complete of hypermedia structure, that is not just adopting the text, it also should include image, audio, video contents. And over and above, this also has got an intelligent database engine which supports or which tries to merge between a relational database technique and artificial intelligence technique. So, these two techniques are merged together as part of the intelligent database engine. That is what we have seen in the previous slide, where we tried converting all the traditional databases or the lack in the traditional databases, how it can be overcome by the help of artificial intelligence technique. And we have an artificial intelligence technique and how these facts have been utilized by artificial intelligence technique so that it can be converted into a intelligent database. So, by constructing this 3-level technique, whereas like tools, user interfaces and image intelligent database engine, we are able to effectively construct the databases which at later point in time are intelligent enough to derive lot of patterns. It could even predict, it could even provide utmost accuracy of the results. So, from the conventional processing of say banking applications or patient monitoring system, now that we have transformed to a banking analysis system where we have done a lot of analysis and what kind of customers would go for a loan having saved so much of volume of amount. So, for this analysis we generally do not want a SQL to be operated with, rather we wanted an intelligent database to operate over and above the actual facts that are existing. So, these intelligent databases actually requires the user interfaces and good amount of tools for it to analyze all the facts, and it has also to generate rules from the expert systems so that it becomes more of intelligence. Looking at the characteristics of intelligent database systems, intelligent database systems has, as I have already told you, fact database and rule base. By use of AI techniques which has knowledge representation, where we try generating semantic data and inference techniques like improved reasoning about a particular data, where we improvise on our data dictionary and we create lot of metadata components, that is data about a data components which can give us lot of inferences. So, a word which is having similar in meaning, we can even search for the thesaurus of a particular word. Likewise, it can generate more of inferences so that this becomes more of intelligent. So, intelligent user interfaces helps users to make request and receive appropriate replies. Another point which we talked about as part of AI technique, which is persistence in the fact databases. If you look at the traditional taxonomy of intelligent database systems with reference to the efforts originated from DB context and AI context, there has been two different extensions. One is on the static extension and dynamic extension. More of the intelligent databases concentrates on the dynamic extensions, where if you look at static extensions, the expressive power of traditional database data models is trying to be extended, whereas by the introduction of dynamic extension, some form of reasoning is being included to the database management system. So, inferences, reasoning are the components that we are trying to include as part of dynamism to databases. But from the context of AI, we have basic solutions which tries coupling knowledge based systems and database systems, whereas for advanced solutions we attempt AI systems to deal directly with large volume of information. So, large amount of information plus AI techniques might give you advanced solutions. This is intended to be more secure and we are trying to give patterns, we do a lot of analysis and make a visualization. So, for static extensions we have used relational models, conceptual models, semantic data models, nested relational model, hypersemantic models, object oriented models, semantic networks, functional, relational, all under one component of knowledge and AI. Whereas, for dynamic extensions we imbibe the concepts of object oriented databases and active databases. By object oriented databases, I introduce programming language constructs where I inherit I encapsulate, I hide data in various formats. So, these are frame based systems where AI semantic data models have been preferred. Whereas, with reference to active databases, we tried introducing active rules. If you can recall, active rules are primarily being returned in format of a trigger, say with event, condition and action, and we generate lot of protective rules as part of AI. So, this is the continuation from the previous exercise where we concentrated the efforts on the efforts from database and AI context. With respect to AI, we have a notion from knowledge based systems, and this knowledge based system might contain simple facts and are explicitly represented as rules, as rule base, components which make references over the knowledge base. So, knowledge base involves not only fact database, it also tries to involve a rule base. So, the information that we are trying to deal with in the knowledge base system consists thereof explicitly stores facts and rules, but it tries deriving lot of facts from other values, whereby it automatically tries constructing the metadata component, thereby making it wholesome for it to become more informative. If you look at database, intelligent database systems, this intelligence database systems has a data dictionary, and these data dictionary in turn creates a concept hierarchy for the purpose of either automatic discovery or error detection or flexible queries. If you consider database dictionary, this contains systems metadata component, that is data about a data, and the concept dictionary defines virtual fields based on approximate definitions. If you analyze on the data and try on the discovery portion, then we may have to find patterns, we may detect errors, we may process on queries. Whereas, with reference to automatic discovery, we have data comprehension, we can form hypothesis out of all the data that has been represented, we can make queries, we can view at results and perhaps modify the hypothesis, and we can iteratively do the same process. So, we can try repeating it. But with respect to automatic error detection and correction, we may have to look at integrity constraints as part of databases, we may have to generate rules, we may have to analyze on the data for various anomalies. And this is from the architecture of intelligent database systems. As an intelligent database engine, this has to support object orientation, and it has an inference for many features of intelligent databases. It may have to optimize on the global features. It has a rule manager which tries to manage and optimize the rule, explanation manager, transaction manager, metadata manager, access module and multimedia manager. So, because of the entire management principle, this database engine becomes more of intelligent. When you try looking at the various features of ideal intelligent databases, these ideal intelligent databases gains feedback, that is what the user is searching for and what he is not is being well disconnected. So, if a user is trying to concentrate only on this, appropriate or relevant items would also be searched, relevant items are supposed to be searched. So, the feedback on such data will be taken for it to further process, and this has a very good user interface because of the reason that the interface window shows the amount of previous searches that an user has made. So, if I have got a relevance from the previous searches, then I can list down only those that I have searched before. So, from the history I may be able to search the appropriate records, and because of intelligent databases it can generate a help menu which can guide the user to formulate more of a queries, and this can select search items where alternate search items from online thesaurus. So, from the thesaurus I may able to generate lot of similar entities. Say for example, I might be searching for a specific value which has which is like a dope, maybe different words which are similar to the word called dope might be listed in my database. So, all words which are trying or pertaining to the word dope are tries to merge with this value. Says we can select similar items which can also adopt to this word. Displaying results of search where it has high relevance of each hit, querying words might be highlighted. In short, in this particular session, we were analyzing on intelligent databases, or we were rather trying to create an intelligent database. As with, if you consider any of the databases, finding the first article can be time consuming. But traditional databases, any number of times if you are trying to access the same article, then we may have to type in the SQL queries. But then to make these databases more intelligent, we may have to create the feedback, we may have to take in the user opinion or the interface wherein the history is maintained. So, computers have problems with ambiguous uses of words and with words which has multiple meanings. So, either by looking at the synonymy of a particular word, we might have to pronounce and go further. So, currently it is impossible to build into a knowledge base a broad sense of the world. So, the context is a problem. So, we have started doing, or we have rather started working on the context with which the user is trying to get the opinion about, or rather we can get the meaningful entities. Whereas, if you consider most of the databases, some help with the mechanical operations of the working of databases and some help with the intellectual operations like artificial intelligence technique. This helps in further search. So, by way of combining databases with most of the artificial intelligence technique, we will be able to build a very nice intelligent databases would be the concentration of this particular session. Thank you.